Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this shawl here. It's actually pretty easy as long as you're familiar with back post and front post stitches. You can see the post there, and then it's got spaces in between. It's a really simple repeat. And then I added fringe. You don't have to add fringe if you don't want to. Mine's not an extremely huge shawl, but you can make yours bigger if you want. I actually ran out of yarn, and when I went to get more of this color, they didn't have it. So, but mine still turned out pretty nice, I think. So let's go ahead and get started on this. Okay, for this project, I am using a Lion Brand Comfy Cotton Blend. It is a 50% cotton, 50% polyester blend. And it is considered a lightweight 3. I would consider it more of a 4 weight. But you could use any lightweight 3 or any 4 weight would work fine. You know, you can just adjust the size and the length of it to however big that you want it. For what I did though, this was 392 yards. It took me 2 full cakes of this yarn to make this poncho. And like I said, I probably would have made it bigger. I probably would have got another cake, but there wasn't any more at the store. So feel free to do as many rows and make it as big as you want. This color is called Spring Meadow. I did not use this color. The color I used was called Enchanting Embers. And then I'm going to be using a size J, which is a 6mm crochet hook. Okay, now I'm going to take a minute to ask you not to forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. If you look in the description box of this video, you'll see an auto subscribe link, where if you click on that, you'll automatically be subscribed and you'll never miss any of my updates. So you want to start off with a slip knot on your hook, and then we're going to work a chain of 4. Now we're going to slip stitch into the first stitch to form a ring. Without getting that tail in there. There we go. Okay, now we're going to chain 1. Now I'm going to work 4 double crochets through the center of the ring. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to chain 2, which is the back point of the shawl. And now I'm going to work 4 more doubles. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now you'll have 8 double crochets for round 1. Now round 2 is actually going to start the repeat. So we're going to, row 2. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And we're going to work 3 double crochets into the very first stitch. So there's 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do a front post double crochet around the next stitch. So go ahead and yarn over and do a front post double around the next stitch. And then back post double around the next. So it's just a front post, a back post double crochet repeat. So there's my back post and front post, and you just would keep doing that, front post double crochet, back post double crochet, front post, back post, until you get to your chain 2 space, which I'm already at. Now in my chain 2 space, I want to work 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more doubles. That's what always gets worked into the point of the shawl. Now I'm going to start off again by working a front post double crochet around the first stitch, and back post around the neck. So you just would repeat that, front post, back post, double crochet, repeat. The back post is always a little bit more difficult, I think, but once you get the hang of it. There we go. And then front post. Remember, there's 3 stitches in this last corner, so you gotta make sure you separate them and get it right. And then in the last stitch here, you put 3 double crochets. Your last stitch on every row always gets 3 double crochets. Always. No matter what row that you're on, 3 doubles into the last stitch. And that'll end row 2, and you'll have 16 stitches now. Okay? For row 3, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now we always start every row, no matter what row you're on, 3 double crochets into the very first stitch. There's 1, 2, 3. So this time we're going to start a little different. Last time we started with the front, on the last row, a front post double crochet. Now we're going to start with a back post double crochet around the first stitch. Oops. And then the next stitch will be a front post double crochet. And then the next stitch will be a back post, and you'll see that the stitch before was a back post. So you're keeping your posts lined up still. And then a front post. And a back post again. And you would just repeat that until you got to your first chain 2 space. And the next one would be a back post. And you would just keep repeating that. Back post, front post, back post, front post, until you get to your chain 2 space. So front post. And since you started with a back post this round, your last stitch here will be a back post. And then in the chain 2 space, we work 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles, all into that same chain space. And then we just start again on the other side doing the same thing. So we start out with a back post double crochet, and then a front post double crochet, and then a back post double crochet, and a front post. And you just repeat that pattern until you get to the end of the row. And we just repeat it, front row, or back post, front post, back post, front post. You know, just till we get to the end, just like we've been doing. Like I said, if you're familiar with the front post, back post, this should be pretty easy for you to do. You should end in the back post since you started with the back post. And then, like I said before, you always put 3 double crochets into the last stitch. Just like that. And now you'll have 8 more stitches than you did on the previous row. So that's what it's kind of starting to look like. Okay, so for row 4, we're going to chain 1 and turn 3 double crochets into the very first stitch. Always 3 doubles. So there's 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to chain 1, we're going to skip 1 and double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip 1, double into the next. And you should always be doubling into that back post double crochet. You see it back there? Double right into the top of it. And that's the repeat now for this row. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the top of the stitch, which is actually that back post double crochet back there. And just repeat this till you get to your chain 2 space. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1. You should have 1 left to skip. Go ahead and just work right into your chain 2 space, working 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles. Okay, we're going to start off by chaining 1, skipping 1, double crochet into the next, chain 1, skip 1, double into the next. And you just want to repeat this until you get to the end of the row. Now when you make it to the end, chain 1, you have 2 stitches here, skip this one and put 3 double crochets into your last stitch. So that'll end that row. Now if you count your stitches and your chain 1 spaces, count all your double crochets plus the chain 1 spaces. Do not count this chain 2 space. You'll have 8 more stitches than you did the previous row. Okay, row 5, chain 1 and turn, 3 doubles into the very first stitch. And now we're going to put 1 double crochet into every stitch and into every chain 1 space until we get to our chain 2 space. Right through the chain 1 space, and then on top of the double, go right through the chain 1 space, double crochet, and then right into the top of the next double. We're just going to keep repeating that until we get to our chain 2 space or the point of our shawl. Just like that. And then when you make it to your chain 2 space, you know what to do. 2 doubles, chain 2, and 2 more doubles. And then we're just going to repeat this on the other side. 1 double into every stitch and every chain 1 space until you get to your last stitch. Right through the chain 1 space and in top of the next double. Right through the chain 1 space and in top of the next double, all the way until you get to your last stitch. Okay, I made it to my last stitch. Go ahead and put your 3 double crochets into your last stitch, and you should always have 8 more stitches than you did the previous row. Now that's the repeat for what you want to repeat for the rest of the shawl. Rows 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's a 4-row repeat. It's actually really easy to do once you get the hang of it. So right now, what you would do, you would just repeat row 2 again. You would chain 1 and turn, and you'd work 3 doubles into your very first stitch. 1, 2, always 3 doubles into the first stitch, and then you would start off with the front post double crochet into the first stitch, and then back post double crochet into the next. And you would just repeat that front post, back post, double crochet until you got to your chain 2 space. And that's where you do your 2 doubles, chain 2, 2 doubles, and then you would start again with the front post double crochet all the way to the end. So that's it. And then you would start row 3. Row 3 is pretty similar, only you start row 3 with a back post double crochet instead of a front post. And then you would repeat row 4, which is the chain space row, and then you would repeat row 5 again, which is the double crochet row. So now it's like I said, repeats row 2 through 5, 4-row repeat. Once you get the hang of it, it's not hard at all, and it really doesn't take much time to work up. I worked this up last night while I was watching TV. I'd say it probably took me about probably about 4 or 5 hours to do this. Like I said though, mine's not extremely huge. I would have made it bigger if I would have had more yarn. Walmart did not have this color anymore. Now, okay, if you look at mine, which you probably can't really see it that well, I did a total of, counting this very first row of post stitches, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 repeats. 8 repeats of rows 2 through 5. But I ended in a chain space row so I could add fringe. Now you don't have to add fringe. That is completely up to you. You can just keep going, make it as big as you want. Don't add fringe, add fringe. You can end on whatever row you want to end on. It's your poncho. You do it just however you like. Both sides look very similar, so there's not really any right or wrong side. If you can see, you look at it like that, and you flip it around, look at it like that, they look the same, really. So there's no right or wrong side. So total of, that's what I did, 8, starting from the very first repeat. 1, 2, I'm counting my rows of post stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 repeats total. You do more if you want, because like I said, my shawl's not huge, but it's cool enough to make like a cowl around your neck like you seen in that picture. So, but that's it. That's all there is to it. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. I mean, I hope you're able to follow along okay. Once you get going, you should be able to have it done in no time, I think. Turned out pretty cool. Pretty fall poncho. So like I said, don't forget to check me out. Check out the description box. And don't forget to auto subscribe. That way you never miss any of my updates. And please don't forget to check out all my other tutorials. I got hundreds of them. And also I put a link below to my Bagoday Crochet Facebook chat page. It's a really nice page. I appreciate that if you check that out. It's an open page, so you can post all your crochet work on there. So until next time, have a good day.